Guys, deluded, I'm back again, man. Obviously, I just had my cup of green tea. It's Friday. Happy Friday, people. Q&A as usual, man. Thank you very much each and every time, like I say in every Q&A vid, for the questions. For obvious reasons, it couldn't be a thing unless you asked me questions. You lot come hard. You asked me all different ranges of questions via social media, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Someone even emailed the thing once. I don't care, as long as you get in it. No question is too big or too small. Or let me move this back a slight bit. Yeah. Oh, you lot can see my books and that. But anyways, yeah, no question is too big or small, people. So let's crack on. Yeah, let's crack on and things like that. Let's crack on. Fix that up a bit. But yeah, man. Show you it again one more time. Yeah. Something's wrong with my printer for some reason. I can only print in red. It's not like I've put more ink and put it in there and it's acting, man. I hate printers. Can't lie, I want to smash it up. But let's crack on, man. I'm waffling. Some intriguing questions. I don't know if to start from the bottom or the top, so I'm going to start from the top. Alex asks is, what kind of issues do you foresee Unai Emery having to deal with in his first season managing in England? Well, again, it could be very different and things like that, but I would say if I was in Unai Emery's shoes, as someone that's done what he's done, managed in France, done his thing in his homeland and things like that, now coming to England, I'd probably say refereeing decisions, he's going to have to get used to it. It's going to be controversial as hell. It's going to be inconsistent as hell. He's going to have to get used to it. I'd say, I mean, he's an articulate man and very persistent in the data, so he knows what the Prem is, but I guess nothing prepares you, similar to the players, from when you're actually there. I mean, he can see the intensity of the Prem and the unpredictability, but nothing is going to prepare you until you're actually in the dugout and things like that. Nothing's going to prepare you until you see Arsenal have them shock defeats 2-1 against Fulham or something, or some nonsense like that. So I'd say the quick turnaround, to be honest with you, in the games and stuff. Maybe there's no winter break of sorts. Well, it's getting introduced, but it's not really a winter break. He'd probably have to get used to the festive period. Games coming thick and fast. That'd probably be my immediate problems in regards to England. Maybe you just have to say the obvious one. I can only say the obvious ones to you. Like, he has to get to know the players on a deeper level. He has to understand his players more than he thinks he does. He needs to find a balance within the side, work within the side. Some players are going to gain his trust and then lose it. Some players are going to lose his trust and then gain it. So there'd probably be the problems I envision him seeing, to be fair. Obviously, when it actually happens, I'll report it. But for me, bro, that would be it. Hopefully that's answered your question. Mark asks is, big up Mark, man. Big up Alex as well, who just asked that thing. Do you think Mkhitaryan would be a better 10 than Ozil? No. You've also put Ozil seems to be on an inconsistent decline. I do agree. Ozil is kind of winding down, in the sense that we saw this with Silva. He's going to have to rework his game in the year or two, depending if he's still at the club. I would probably say, if anything, a stagnation is not really decline. I love Ozil, so I'm fighting hard to disagree with you there, but I'd say no to my guy. Big up Mkhitaryan, but Ozil polarizes opinion. I mean, on one hand, there's very few people that can have a balanced argument about Ozil and say, okay, he's a good player, he done good in XYZ in this match, but equally in this match he was poor. We know to some he's the best thing since sliced bread. People roll off all them stats, how much distance he's covered and all that jazz, and to some he'll never be good enough, innit? So there's that. But for me, Meza, he's being killed by his own high standards, man. If you look at him, even he was one of our better players last season, and I don't care who disagrees with me. He was poor by his own standards, but collectively, he's one of the best. The stats don't lie, the performances don't lie. I say this because I've went back and looked at my reviews, obviously. So I'd say nobody's got the vision that Ozil has and things like that. Mkhitaryan's had some good games, but he's also been anonymous. I can't really forgive him for the Spurs away. I was there, he was poor. So I'd probably, Ozil's my number one, but Mkhitaryan's clearly qualified enough to step in and clearly qualified enough to impact. I wasn't sold on Mkhitaryan that fully initially, and then when he played against Everton, I was like, alright, cool, this is my guy. And you saw him against AC Milan. I don't necessarily believe he would probably be in my strongest lineup if I'm looking at Arsenal's strongest lineup. No disrespect to him, but he's a good player that can be used, that can rotate, and he's shown his worth. You saw what he was on against AC Milan together with Aaron Ramsey. So hopefully that answers your question, my dude. Bello asks, don't you think the World Cup is unfair on smaller countries? Refereeing decision always goes to the big countries. To a degree, that could be claimed, yes, but there's been many times in this specific World Cup, big countries haven't got the rub of the green against them. the number of countries from each continent is not fair with Europe having the largest number. To be honest, I'd advise you to do your research in regards to why that is in regards to Europe. But I definitely don't definitely see where you're coming from. In regards to I'm so sure you wrote something about Rojo's penalty. I mean Rojo's handball. You could say it's a handball. At the end of the day, if it touches his hand, it touches his hand. So I've got no disagreements. But by the same logic, I don't think it's a penalty. Is it clumsiness? Yeah, but like I don't really think that's a penalty for Nigeria. To be fair with you, my guy. But love for the questions. And Tony asks, DG, what do you think about the South Korean keeper? He looks decent. Yeah, for me, he's not my cup of tea. He's a bit shaky, but he is decent. He parries some dumb things, but he makes some good saves. And I did some research. He's one that I've actually, spoiler alert, that will be on my scouting report. I definitely believe he should be playing in Europe. I believe he's still playing in Asia. He's definitely good enough to play at some level in England or Europe at some level. Maybe for something's telling me he'll move to France or something. I don't know, but he's all right. Peter, big up Peter, he asks, is deluded. So what happens to Xhaka if we get Banega? It seems they both play the deep line playmaker and they've both got long passing range skills. Well, first and foremost, my guy, like you saw with Xhaka, as much as I like Xhaka, I don't believe anybody, unless you're within reason, you should really be a key member of the side like that. We need people that are bringing different things to the table. We know Xhaka, again, another one that polarizes opinion. I think he's a decent player and he's done all right, but he can be better. And he shouldn't, based on his form, you can see what happens last year when Xhaka come out the side, but I don't believe he should have played the amount of appearances he did. It's the sense that he was a main fixture in the side. I don't believe when you compare him to the likes of Ramsey, etc. I don't believe he's clear. I only believe the only one that's clear is Ozil, and he's not even playing like that to a degree. So I'd say there's definitely scope to play Banega and Xhaka. There's definitely scope to take one out of the side. There's like different options. My guy gives us different ways of playing, so it's definite. Banega does come in. It'll be interesting to see because there'd be a lot of midfielders and there's a lot of games to play, but someone's going to be left disappointed in some regard, my guy. Tom asks, what about Cohen Bramall? My guy, I can't lie to you, I want him to go as far as he possibly can. He's come from working in a factory. I would love to be proved wrong in regards to Arsenal. I don't think he's going to have a long-term career here. I don't think he's of the technical quality or just good enough for Arsenal. But I want him to have a career, man, and I'm happy for the guy. And I want to be proved wrong. I'm not disrespecting him. I just don't think he's good enough. Hussein asks, deluded, what's your take on Italy? Would they have done better if they were in this World Cup? My guy, I don't know. Probably for me, my only opinion on Italy is they've got some good young players coming through. They probably need to blood them players coming in and think about Euro 2020. So yeah, Jack asks, what's your opinions on Harry Wilson of Liverpool? I like him a lot. Probably gone off the ball a bit from when he made his debut and things like that. Part of me thinks the likes of him and maybe to a degree Ojo probably have to face tough questions and leave Liverpool to advance their careers. I hope to be wrong in that because I do believe they've got good potential, but that's what I believe in it. Scott asks, it looks like an incredible bit of business and an addition to Arsenal. For your Q&A, assuming we keep Mkhitaryan, Ozil, Xhaka and Ramsey, where does Banega fit in and are we planning to sell someone or what? Wilshere's probably gone, so it's probably Banega, if he did come in, would take Wilshere's spot in the regards of a place in the side. It's still a lot of midfielders to be fair, to have to balance the side around. Banega could fit into many roles. He clearly excels as a deep line playmaker / box-to-box of sorts. He can play holding with someone. So there's a lot of different options for him, man. Like, different options, different way of playing. And I'm happy because when I was playing for Norseman, my grassroots level team, I was a right back, but there was 4 fullbacks. I could play on the left-hand side as well. Versatility and that, bang, bang. But I knew that, of course, the stats don't lie. I played the most games in it, not to be big-headed, but I played the most games. When I came off, you saw it in it. But training, I had to buck up my ideas because Darren, my coach, if someone was looking a bit iffy, you're not going to play in it. There's 4 fullbacks, 2 positions. 9 times out of 10, it was me and Romario because obviously we're 30 and I don't want to be drawing anyone else out. But you get what I'm saying, innit? Different options, you have to fight for your space, man. Ali asks, what's your thoughts on Umero from Nigeria? Well, him and the 2 Nigerian lads at centre-half did themselves a great honour. And I'll be surprised if he doesn't move. I don't know if he's still owned by Chelsea, but if he doesn't move on from Chelsea of some sorts. And that other one went Stoke, I believe. So I believe for Nigeria can be proud of how they played at the World Cup, but them 2 centre-halves in particular, they did very well for me. So I'd say, yeah, bro. Iga Ibrahim asks, whose stock has risen at the World Cup in Russia so far? Well, for me, my guy, off the top of my head, I've written it down. The Nigerian centre-half in Ebto, I can't say his name and I don't know if I've got that right. The young Serbian centre-half, the 20-year-old of Fiorentina, I forgot his name, but I got a video of him coming about him. I'll bring it out later. Quintero to a degree, because he's not gone the way he's got. His form at the World Cup might tip some European clubs to go back in for him. Probably for me, I'd say Lozano, Mexican lad. I mean, there's a lot of hype with a lot of these players. He's the one that's kind of fulfilled it. Maybe to a degree Pavon, but he didn't really get any minutes. He impressed me when he came off because I was looking for certain things. But to the general public, he might not have necessarily risen his stock, to answer your question. And you've also asked me, where do you rank Leno among the top 6 goalkeepers? Well, at this moment in time, Lloris is better than him, in my opinion. De Gea is clearly better than him. Courtois is a bit iffy, but Courtois is better than him. Who else? Probably all of them are better than him apart from Lloris and Karius. Lloris and Karius. Not Lloris, sorry. They're all probably better than him apart from Karius and Mignolet. They're the only ones I'm not taking ahead of him or don't have that. But Spurs' keeper, United, City's, and the rest of them, I'd probably rank them ahead until I see him in it. I'll review that, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. That's my opinion, innit? So, yeah. You've also got, last year, everyone thought Everton had a good window. Do you think signing too many players in one window can have a negative effect? Of course, my guy, because at the end of the day, it's about balance. Like, it is about balance. We've seen that many a times what happened to Everton. You need balance. You need to bring in players, and like you saw with City, they brought in a whole host, but it's about balancing the side. They need to adapt and things like that. You need to have a clear plan. So that's what I always say, to improve. You can't always be looking at new signings and stuff like that. So, yeah. And you've also finally got, do you think Ozil is starting to decline with his recent performances for club and country? I do think he's starting to stagnate a bit, of course. Clearly, he's 29. He's going to have to rework his game, similar to Silva and Iniesta to a degree. For me, probably play deep lying playmaker at a time in his career. But yeah, Ryan asks is, do you think Russia are good enough to go all the way? To the final? No, but the fans will be with them all the way. And you've also got opinions on Jay Huss's situation. My opinion on Jay Huss's situation is what shall be, man. It is what it is at this moment in time. Just because he's being lynched doesn't mean certain things can't happen to him. Cyrus asks is, opinions on the lesser sides at the World Cup. Is this a one-off World Cup, or will we see an improvement again at the next World Cup in regards to sides being harder to break down, etc.? Well, you'd like to think that this will continue because sides have been harder to break down. Smaller sides have been having a go at these big sides. We've seen some shockers. I'd be inclined to say it's a one-off because I haven't seen a World Cup like this before, but I hope this becomes the norm rather than the exception, my guy. So love for that question, man. Finally, main man Uber asks is, what do you think of the Copa America becoming Pan-American? Obviously, if it becomes Pan-American, it includes the CONCACAF nations and etc. For those who don't know. It's about, they probably need to, because Copa America, they've invited European sides to participate before. They've invited Jamaica last year or the year before. Bang, bang. So, yeah, man, it'd be nice to see it as be a Pan-American, why do I keep saying Pan-African? Pan-American thing. So, shout out to that. You've also got, could Pogba play in a free, I can't remember the formation, but basically, could Pogba play in a 3-4-3 with Pogba having a free role with Matic/Fred as his partners? That could definitely work, my guy, but me personally, I'd prefer Pogba in a 3. I mean, Fred, I can't believe I don't want to overrate the guy, but he is a decent footballer. I mean, between Fred, Matic and Pogba, I don't know if that's Jose's thinking, but if Pogba can get some tactical and positional discipline, Matic is obviously Matic, and Fred remains to be seen how he adapts. But on paper, it looks like a wonderful thing because Matic, box-to-box, scooping up everything. Pogba's a bit of the same in box-to-box, and you know Pogba with the creativity thing. Fred came back when he was coming through in Brazil. He was more of an offensive player. He's now shift further back, so he's got the defensive per se, not exactly a defensive mid or defensive sort of midfielder, but he's got that. And he's got the attacking flair. So if you add that with Pogba and Matic, if them three there learn tactically to do the dirty works of defending in midfield together, it could be a great thing. And what I specifically mean by that is, obviously, Pogba wants to do his thing, Fred wants to do his thing, and Matic, out of them, Matic probably the furthest back. They all need to understand everyone else's role. So when Pogba's doing his Pogbeezy things, he needs to see, alright, Fred and Matic might need me. When my man wants to be a Samba man, the same. When the rare times Matic wants to burst through the middle, he needs to remember the same. The dirty works of the game, they need to function in the 3 together properly. But yeah, man, I don't think I got any other questions, man. Thank you for watching. I hope this video is long enough for some people that say my videos aren't long enough. Like, thank you for the Q&A, people, man. It's been brilliant. Get in the comments with some more questions. It can't go on without you guys, man. No question is stupid. We don't deal with that business here. Guys, deluded. I'm out. Thank you for watching, man. I'm out.